These are students that I've been working with, most from the past semester, but the first two from the past year. You may know I'm Ken Frieden, speaking from Syracuse University. And for more than a year during this pandemic, my students and I have met on Zoom. We actually started, even before the pandemic, we started meeting with Stephen Rosenfield by Skype. Remember Skype? Even before the pandemic. But in any case, welcome. This is our fourth show at the Virtual Comedy Cafe, website that I developed. Tonight we have more than a dozen comedians who are going to tell you about everything from cows to cars, from frat boys to grandpas, and from tampons to threesomes. So it's going to be quite a show. Please stay with us. And leading us off tonight is a very funny woman from the hills of Pennsylvania. Please welcome Allison Scherger.
Hi. Okay, so I live in a small town in Bumblefuck, Pennsylvania. It's actually right outside of Coochieeville. Our hometown's major event is the annual, are you ready for this? Cow flop. No, not cow tipping, cow flopping. We watch them poop on squares. And people place bets on which square the cows will poop on. Basically, we're turning manure into money. It's bigger than the 4th of July. People are tailgating all over the parking lot. It was like Cowchella. Also kind of like bingo. Each square has a number, and people walk around rooting for one to do a number 2 on square 37. And when the cow poops on a line, middle-aged white men fight over whose square has more in it. A team even runs out to the field with plastic gloves and measuring tape. So people come from all over for this crap. I saw license plates from Alaska, Florida. It was the one time that our Motel 6 got completely booked, except for right after our high school prom. And the names at this event was just awful. Diesel, Guthrie, Angus. The cows have normal names. Brian, Glenn. Becky, I swear to God, if Larry don't crap on 31, I'm going to have to take out a second mortgage on our trailer. What I personally find weird at the cow flop is when people bring their kids there. It's family day at the cow flop. Daddy, can I get an ice cream? No, Angus, I told you, not until Brian shits in our box. But this is also a huge deal for the cows. They're trying to make it too. If they perform well, they have a chance to make it to the major league patties. Thank you so much. And thank you to my mother who was here live to laugh. We have a great lineup for you tonight. Our next performer is straight out of Fairfax, Virginia. His name is Chris Vinn, and he's an hilarious junior who is majoring in screenwriting. So please give a welcome to the hilarious Chris Vinn, who's right here.
Thank you. So glad to be here. You said "and hilarious." That was funny.
On purpose.
All right. Yeah, no, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. A little bit about myself. I'm from Northern Virginia. I always emphasize the northern parts. People don't think I'm a redneck because apparently they can't tell from my face. But yeah, people in New York have certain ideas about Virginia. I told a kid at a party I was from Virginia, and the first thing he said was, "Oh, so do you have a lot of sex with your sister?" Yes. Why would you ask me that? I did say yes. Obviously, I don't. I'm not an animal, but I didn't want him thinking I couldn't pull. So, gotta do what you gotta do. But Northern Virginia and Virginia are two completely different states. All the people in my area are white liberal hipsters. So walking around my county, all you hear is, "Oh my God, Lindsay, take a picture of me and my bubble tea for Insta." And those are the guys. But then you drive 30 minutes south or west, and it's just, boy, do I love guns and cigarettes. Take a picture for Insta. I experienced some serious culture shock visiting these towns. I pull up to their historic downtown district. Like, why is their museum a drive-through? That doesn't make sense. Their cultural hubs, a sit-down Pizza Hut, and their movie theater has a statue of John Wilkes Booth outside. Like, I don't belong here. I don't feel safe in these towns. I once went to a Waffle House in Ashland, Virginia, the Big Snapple, if you will. I started talking to one of the cooks and we had a great conversation. She was telling me about her husband and her sister. But then she introduced me to both of them because they were also both working at that Waffle House with her. I thought that was amazing. They were like the royal family of type 2 diabetes. It was beautiful. If they ever have a child, he's going to have it rough in school. Just imagine career day comes around. The teacher asks, Stonewall, what does your mom do for a living? And the poor kid has to be like, well, she works a graveyard shift making eggs and hash browns. Oh, okay. That's interesting. How about your father? Well, you're not going to believe this. I recently found out I have pea allergy. The food. I'm not sneezing every time I walk up to a urinal. That's not what's happening here. But I learned that you get no sympathy for being allergic to peas. Any other allergy, people feel so bad for you. Oh, you eat bread and go into anaphylactic shock? That must be so difficult. What, you need an EpiPen every time you accidentally sniff milk? I'm so sorry. Oh, you can't eat peas because they make your stomach hurt? Sucks for you. My friends don't help either. They just make fun of me for it. Last week, my roommate threw a bag of frozen vegetables at me like, what now? What now? You gonna get itchy? You gonna break out into hives, pea boy? It sucks. The first time I got an allergy test, it said I was severely allergic to peanuts. And I love peanuts, so I demanded a second test. I was like, you're lying. This is bullshit. I will not accept this. No way I'm giving up my Uncrustables, right? People with peanut allergies are always so optimistic about their situation. They're like, I'm fine not eating them. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Shut up, liar. Your life is so much worse than mine. Sure, I may have crippling anxiety, but I can crack into a Reese's cup whenever I want. So who's really miserable? When I took the second allergy test, it said I wasn't allergic to peanuts at all. I was like, yes, I knew it. And I snorted a line of trail mix. I was so happy. But this second test said that I was severely allergic to peas. So I guess they got it half right the first time. But I had never heard of a pea allergy. So I did what any person would do upon learning this information. I ignored it. I went home, ate a chicken pot pie, and was like, all right, well, that was bullshit. But that week, I went to the gym and bought a protein shake. And after I paid for it, I looked at the label and saw that it was pea protein. But I needed my gains, so I shotgunned the shake and started driving home. And I didn't make it. I had to pull over into a school parking lot to throw up, and it was traumatic. And it ruined recess for the first graders. So because of that incident, I now cannot trust any plant-based proteins, and I am now banned from Crossfield Elementary School. Thank you very much. You guys have been great. Thank you so much, Zoom.
Now, coming to us from Long Island, New York, please give it up for the witty Andrea Bianco.
Thank you. I love my dog so much. He is the absolute worst thing to ever happen to me. We curse at him so much that you would think we hated him, which I mean we do. Bo is a Jack Russell pug mix, has long chopstick legs, and opens my locked bedroom door at 7 a.m. every single morning. Can't eat without him. I can't sleep without him. My family begs me to not bring him home with me. This dog is a toxic ex-boyfriend in a different font. My roommate and I had to get saliva tested for COVID because we live in a surveillance state and life is a literal nightmare. If we leave the dog home alone, we come home to a nuclear war zone. So we leash him up and we bring him with us. It's a football stadium. There's grass, right? A dog can't be that big of a deal. Well, tell that to the guys at the entrance. We walk in, we got class in 20 minutes, and we're on a mission. But God forbid we have our tiny little dog in our arms. There is no time for bullshit. Obviously, the security sees two frantic girls with this little dog with an underbite, and they're like, okay, let's make these two life a little bit harder than it needs to be. Long story short, we get our tests, gatekeepers try kicking us out. And after all of that, my roommate tells me, you should really get him a vest. He's like our anxiety support dog. Girl, are you fucking kidding me? He is my anxiety. When I was 2, my mom insisted on putting me in a classroom for 3-year-olds. I could walk and talk or walk and talk at the same time, could kind of use a fork, which clearly made me a child prodigy. Those are still my only skills. I don't know how my mom deluded herself into thinking that I was a genius. This woman had to take me to the doctor so they could teach me how to blow my nose. How is your pre-K child a genius if she needs help blowing snot rockets? My only proficiency my whole life has been talking. I'm not sure to have nobody pegged me for a narcissist sooner. Baby Andrea wasn't talking because she was smart. She was talking because she wanted to stay with the twos where she could be the center of attention. I thrived in the 3-year-old classroom. You might have called my classmates toddlers. I called them my bitches. I had a whole posse of kids who loved how I could eloquently demand more food at snack time. Moving to the 3-year-old classroom, though, was hell. Not only could they all use their forks better than me, they also all knew more words. Fucking suck-ups. It's all been downhill since then. Thank you.
And now we get to hear a very funny woman from Scarsdale, New York. Please welcome Abby Rosenstein.
So, my friend told me that she's planning a birthday party for her 21st birthday, and she wants to book a hotel in New York City for the weekend. So I'm thinking, yes, that would be so fun. Just me and the girls taking on the Big Apple. Can't wait to get drunk at the club. But then she sends me her itinerary with the location of the hotel. The Upper East Side? Does she think this is Gossip Girl? The Upper East Side is for old, rich people, not freshly 21 college students. What, are we gonna go to the Guggenheim Museum? She's like, actually, yes, how'd you know? Like, is this a joke? Is this who we are? So I continue reading the itinerary, and I see sunset cruise around the harbor. Sounds lovely, right? Wrong. The yacht is actually the Staten Island ferry, and we're going to see the Statue of Liberty, just like the field trip I went on in 3rd grade. Like, I'm so sorry, bestie, but I would rather not celebrate your birthday at all. I wish I was a frat boy. Like, I don't wish I was a man. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. But frat boys are living life on easy mode. Like, I don't even mean to roast. I truly am envious of their lifestyle. And by lifestyle, I mean excessive drug and alcohol abuse and maintaining a 1.5 GPA. But as many of their Tinder bios say, they're here for a good time, not a long time. Like, have you ever walked into a frat house before? Let me depict the scene for you. First things first, the odor. Imagine decades worth of piss and spilt beer that's built up a layer of straight grime all over the floor and walls that will be there left to rot for eternity. Now, this layer of grime has not only created the stankiest stench you've ever smelled, but you're also going to be prying your shoes off the sticky elevated surface every single step you take. But these boys call this place home. The other day, I was in Walnut Park observing the frat boys play beer dye on their lawns. And if you don't know how beer dye works, you basically throw shit in the sky and hope for the best. But it got me thinking, I will never get to feel the pure rush of adrenaline that they feel when they sink a cup in front of all their boys. It's kind of fascinating how much they feed off of male validation. They're honestly so straight that they're a little gay. Like, there's no need for you all to be shirtless right now. It's 50 degrees. I know you're cold, but I get it. You need the bros to see how yoked you are. And watching them interact with each other felt like I was at the zoo. They really are simple creatures. They get excited about the most trivial things. And I'm jealous because there's no thoughts up there, just vibes. Like, their biggest concern is whether the pledges got enough natty light for afters tonight. And I wish I had that problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. Thanks for describing campus. I haven't been there in quite a while. Up now is a lovely guy from Philadelphia. Please put your hands together for Will Steinberg.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So in high school, my mascot was a kangaroo. Now, it was very discouraging. When you think about mascots, especially scary mascots, a kangaroo would probably be on the bottom of your list. For example, a lion would tear a kangaroo to pieces. But kangaroos, they have pockets, and that's pretty cool, until I realized that a tiger would just easily rip it apart. And then I was excited to not be a kangaroo anymore in college. And now I love Otto. He's cool, but really an orange, like a big spherical color. I mean, even my kangaroo could beat up an orange. So no longer is my high school mascot at the bottom of the scary mascot list. No, that title belongs to my college mascot. Then my friend told me that he goes to RISD and they have a mascot called Scrody, known better as a scrotum, like a ball sack and a penis. And now I know that Otto could win a fight against a scrotum. Just a light tap to the right spot and Scrody's down for at least an hour or two. So I can at least sleep well knowing that at the bottom of the list is no longer either of my mascots. Nope. The bottom of the scary mascot list is definitely a scrotum. Thank you.
Thanks, Will. Coming now to our virtual stage is a funny fellow from Connecticut. Please give it up for Andrew Vetrano.
One night, my grandpa and I are leaving a restaurant. Let's just say he had a few too many drinks. We went up to the car in the parking lot thinking there was a dog in it. Starts banging on the windows and barking at it. It was no dog. It was a family. One day I went to go see my grandpa and I saw 3 piles of garbage on the floor. I said, "Grandpa, what the hell is this? What's with all the light bulbs?" "The neighbors had their floodlights on all day and night. So I went out at night when everyone was sleeping and I took the bulbs." "What about the hoses?" "Well, my other neighbors had their sprinklers on all day and night. It's getting my car wet. So I took their hoses." "Grandpa, what about the window screens?" "Well, the other neighbors play loud music all day and night. So I took their screens. They can't keep their windows open or they'll get bugs." I gotta face the facts. My grandpa's a terrorist. One of the neighbors just had a newborn. I'm worried for it. Thank you.
And yes, thank you. Joining us now is a young comedian from Bethesda, Maryland. Please give it up for Aidan Block.
When I was 12, I saw the movie The American Sniper. I came home and said, "Hey, Dad, when I grow up, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL." He said, "Son, you can do anything you set your mind to." So I dropped down, did my push-up, and while shaking on the ground to complete the second, I turned to my dad, smiled, and said, maybe I should be an accountant. In middle school, my buddy Petey Dunn hated to be called up in front of the class, all because he had a sneaky thing for our history teacher, Miss Stevens. One day, he was called up to give a presentation on the marvelous Beyonce. As he walked up, Miss Stevens smiled and said, "Is that a roll of quarters in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?" Everyone laughed. Petey said, "Miss Stevens, this time my pocket rocket isn't about you. It's due to the beautiful Beyonce." I've always found it strange how many potential complications there are in these medicine commercials. Like, I get it, taking Orthovisc will help with joint pain so I can get back to gardening or picking up my nephew again. But is it really worth it if it's going to give me nausea, diarrhea, ED, mania, IBS, and dementia? Thank you.
Our next performer loves making noise and can't wait to make some noise for you. Give it up for Rachel Bershad.
Hi, gonna be doing some musical comedy. Figured I'd at least stand up for it so I get that checked off the list. But Here's my impression of a yoga class, but there's a septic leak the whole time. Hello, class. I'm gonna be your instructor today. Lotus flower almond milk. We're gonna start today with some nice deep breathing classes. Great way to start hot yoga. All right, so we're gonna breathe in on the count of 3. Feel free to join me. Ready? Breathe in. Good, and exhale. Good work, class. Great work, Kelly Sue. Keep the breathing up. All right, and we're gonna breathe in again. Gagging is actually really great for your core. All right, and one more time, breathe in. All right, we're just gonna exhale for today, yeah? Thank you. And on the note of yoga, here's a bit of a song about the gym problem that a lot of women face. Get my notes ready. All right. I wake up early in the morning and I head down to the gym. Sneak out when my roommate's snoring on my way to get real trim. My muffin top all cased in spandex as I drive around the block. I know I'd be in better shape if I could get myself to walk up to the desk to check myself in, faking smiles with the clerk. Then my pace begins to hasten as my coffee starts to work. I know some may get frustrated when they see the seat is up, but I can't help but be elated, 'cause I know my humble butt will be the first to hit the seat. Gotta love the little things in life, like cheeks as dry as Ben Shapiro's wife. Oh, I could drink from your oasis, 'cause your bowl's devoid of any traces. To make one thing clear to all the upright pissers here, looking at you, Frieden. Leave the seat up in my home, I'm surely gonna yell, 'cause there's a place for all of you in hell. Thank you. And a bit of a transition here. Here's a quick love song. I think Pokemon are sexy. Pikachu don't use Thunderbolt, no. Pikachu use me. Thank you. And this next one is a bit of a rock ballad, if I may. It's a story about why I don't eat shish kebabs. And the MacGuffin of this childhood drama is a little brown sparkly rock. I had just bought it. And see, my brother Max and I were in the stage of childhood development when you just light shit on fire for no reason, of course. So Max saw this as a great opportunity to assure me this rock is called a firestone and get hot when I rubbed it. And as a tween, I was somewhat of an expert at rubbing things to get a reaction. So I got to it. French class. When, with just about the grace of Sputnik and the landing success of Challenger, the rock was launched from my fingers straight down into my throat. And so I just stand up and go, and my French teacher is like, great pronunciation. And then my homeroom teacher, like Secret Service to the president, escorted me down to the nurse, where Shitty Highlights Tweety Bird Tattoo gave me a 5-day ultimatum on the rock. 5 days? That is just about the worst thing to happen to any human person in 127 hours involving a rock. But I promise you, there is a happy ending though. I did pass the rock, definitely not on fire, certainly warmer. And as for Max, well, sometimes a shish kebab skewer can show you how much of a stinky little bitch karma really is. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Always great to hear you tickle those ivories. Up next, hailing from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, give it up for this tall glass of ice water, Mike George.
Thank you, Professor. I've been waiting for you to say that for months. So, weed today is too strong, man. It's too strong. My friend was smoking the other day, so I asked him, what was he smoking? He goes, Chernobyl. What the fuck sounds fun about Chernobyl? He started talking to me and was like, oh, dude, we're going to be so baked. But slight side effect, you can't have kids. You could, but it not going to be pretty. I smoke weed now, and weed says to me, don't have anxiety. Well, you do now. I smoke weed now and immediately question every construct of my life. I get high and think, am I gay? I know I'm not gay, but if I was gay, I'd be thinking I was gay. I'm smoking with all the homies and none of them are arousing me. Could they? Could the homies arouse me? There's a turtle named Jonathan that is 188 years old. He was born in 1832. If you think about it, he's got 140 some odd years of making babies. If you think about it, 12 babies a year, conservative estimate. Maybe he's a shower. Maybe he's a grower. We don't know. We don't judge here. But that's 1,600 babies. Statistically speaking, Jonathan is the Genghis Khan of turtles. He is fucking. But not only that, Jonathan is bisexual too. He has a boyfriend named Frederick. Jonathan swings both ways. He leaves no stone unturned. That's just a horny turtle. But if you think about it, it's got to be tough being a turtle when 10% of the population has the same dad as you. Sex life can't be easy. You're mid-turtle pump. You finally got it up after a rough go of it. You got one flipper around. You got the other on the turtle shell. And your partner goes, wait, stop. So you stop. She turns around and says, is your dad Jonathan? Get out of town. Me too. Crazy. This is the third time this week. Happens so often, but an increase in turtle suicide. Or so we think. It's either that or autoerotic asphyxiation. You see the turtle that gets the flipper stuck around the plastic rings, choking it. It looks so wrong, but feels so right. Makes you think twice about cutting those plastic rings. Thank you.
Coming to you now is a performer from outside Philly. She says she's scared of going back to the real world. I don't believe it, but anyway, she's staying in Syracuse one more year. Please welcome the classy Courtney Terre.
Thank you so much. I came out to my dad as bisexual recently, and he was ecstatic. Hold on, Courtney, you're telling me that you and your wife can get pregnant at the same time? Do you know what that means? Grandchildren. Courtney, think of it. We can manufacture twins. How wonderful would that be? No, Dad, that wouldn't be wonderful. He wants twin grandchildren so badly that he wants my wife and I to be pregnant at the same time. Can you imagine two pregnant lesbians in the same house? Hey, honey, have you seen my maternity flannel? Can you pick up the all denim, gender neutral baby catalog that's next to the couch? No, neither can I. I guess it belongs to the cat now. Hey, next time you're out, can you pick up the oat milk based almond butter and pickle ice cream? I just finished the caramel potato chip marshmallow swirl one. Oh, sorry. Did you want that? Sorry, Dad. That's too much to handle.
Our next performer draws so many comics, he's starting to become one. Please give it up for Ben Palumbo.
How's it going? So, you ever think about how those kids in Harry Potter just go to Hogwarts? They don't take a campus tour or anything, and it's probably for good reason. Some little gnome named Bilious Bingles or whatever pops out of the ground with a clipboard and just says, "Oh, so we'll start our tour right over here in this beautiful courtyard. Students love coming here to mingle with their friends, do some homework, maybe throw around a magic frisbee. Just, don't go near that big tree in the middle." "Oh, why not? Is it honoring someone? Maybe a professor?" "Oh, well, no, it's just going to smash and kill you. Whimsical fun, right? And right over here, we have the Quidditch pitch, the pride of the school. There's nothing quite like rooting for your house team as they soar through the air on their brooms." And we pan down, and there's just some poor kid face down in the dirt, like missing his bones or something. And you're like, "Well, what happened here?" Oh, don't mind him. A living cannonball just brained him 60 feet in the air and he fell." Sir, it's magical fun. Don't worry about it. Now, unfortunately, our tour has to end here for today. But we didn't go inside the castle. That's like the school, isn't it? "Oh, yeah, sure. Well, right now, there's just a giant racist snake monster roaming around killing students. So we figured we'd deal with that first." Okay. Well, at least you have the headmaster on it, right? He's like, let me just check my notes. The best wizard ever? "Oh, no, we just are going to let 3 12-year-olds deal with it so that they can learn the magic of friendship." Now, I was looking at some Renaissance art the other day, and it's phenomenal. There's immaculate filigree, very precise compositions, the babies that look like they got Benjamin buttoned. I mean, boy, howdy, those Italians did those babies dirty. They look like weird little men with my grandma's face. Like, seriously, just Google Renaissance babies, and you will not be disappointed. And they even did it to the baby, Jesus Christ. And they painted Jesus a lot. They painted him at every stage of his life. The guy had no privacy. And there's no point in his life depicted more than his death. The crucifixion, one of the most iconic religious symbols in the world. You see it in churches, sure, but you also see it on people's jewelry, on the backs of their cars, inside a Happy Meal toy. I mean, they should just be really thankful he went out in such a symbolic way. It would be a lot harder to take church seriously if Jesus went out the same way as Elvis. Party of Christ. Party of Christ. Being mixed race is pretty interesting. My family comes from all over the place, and they're all running away from somewhere. The Cubans were escaping Castro, the Turkish Jews were escaping the remnants of the Inquisition, and the Italians, I don't know, they probably owed the Corleones a favor or something. But that weird grab bag of DNA has resulted in me, a Jew that can last like 5 more minutes in the sun than most. I'm white enough that I can mostly skate by day to day, so being marginalized is like a fun little adventure. It's like being a minority Easter egg for racists, just keeping them on their toes. Like at the TSA, I'll be doing everything right, putting all my stuff in the tray, walking through the scanner like a champ, and then right when I'm about to grab my stuff, I hear those magic words. "Excuse me, sir, please step out of line. You've been selected for a random search." Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for acknowledging my Middle Eastern heritage. Oh, and bonus round, some frat guy shouted, "Nice hair, faggot," at me out of a moving car. And I wasn't really sure if I should have been offended or just happy that my hair care routine was working. And then there's also those weird college questionnaires that ask you your race, but then also ask if you're Hispanic, which is perfect for me because I get all the benefits of affirmative action and just a skosh of white guilt. And there are a lot of people in this world who deserve just the biggest wedgie, and none of them is more deserving than one Mr. Ben Shapiro. I want to schoolyard bully him so bad. He is such a goddamn nerdy little Jew. And I realize that that's the pot calling the kettle black, but I got bullied. I got pennies thrown at me. I did my time. He has the confidence of someone who wasn't bullied enough growing up. Like, imagine the biggest dork in your Sunday school class walking up in front of the entire room and breaking down every single line of Cardi B's WAP, all while saying shit like P word and F word. I don't see how you could not want to just staple a kick me sign to his back. And we're supposed to take him seriously. Coming on like, "Yeah, I'm a political analyst. I have a podcast. My opinion is law." I just want to shove him in a locker so bad. I mean, what's he gonna do? Tell me to go F word myself? Thank you. Hi, Mom.
Now, our final performer is coming to us from Greenfield, Massachusetts. She's happy to announce she's fully vaccinated. So please give it up for the hilarious Morgan Blanchard.
Thank you. So I had some really interesting hobbies as a kid. Like when I ate SpaghettiOs, I used to save all the meatballs for last, name them after my family members, and then eat them. From least to most favorite. I remember when I was 8, my dad taught me how to shave his back hair. I used to think this was something that all children experience. I'd tell people about it, expecting some kind of recognition, something we could bond over. Like, oh yeah, those were the years, man. But all I got instead was sympathy and a couple questions about whether Child Protective Services was called. I loved it though. Some kids look forward to Halloween. I looked forward to clear cutting the forest on my dad's back. Dad would call across the house, all right, who's gonna shave my back? I'd be like, I call dibs. Sometimes I'd make designs. One time I showed him what I made in the mirror and he was like, is that a potato? I was like, no, it's Justin Bieber. I felt like a misunderstood artist. I protested, but he said, shave it off. I'm not showing up to the beach with potato Bieber on my back. I feel bad for people who grew up without hairy dads. They're probably normal. I have bladder anxiety. Before I leave the house or go to bed, in my mind, I'm like, I have to pee. But do I really have to pee? I think I need to pee. Nah, I don't really need to go. Actually, I'm gonna go pee. Even in my dreams, I'll be like, I gotta pee. And all the dream characters are like, oh my God, again. I asked my doctor about my condition, and he said, hold it for as long as you can and then pee in a measuring cup. I was like, okay, why? He's like, so you're aware of how much liquid you can hold. Oh, okay. Thanks for your help, doc. What does he think I'm gonna do? That I'll bring a measuring cup to like a party or something, pee in it, and say, hey everyone, make sure I don't drink more than this. Hell of an icebreaker. Sometimes I consider buying a menstrual cup. You reuse it, so to sanitize it, you have to boil it. I don't know what I'd do if I was at the stove boiling my period cup and someone walked in and was like, something smells delicious. Get me a plate of that. Maybe I should be flattered. I tried period underwear once. They're reusable, so ladies, if you want to save the planet, strap on a diaper once a month. It worked great for me until I mixed them with my whites. I usually just get a variety pack of tampons, but it takes me forever to pick out the right one for that day's flow, you know? There's light, regular, super, super plus, ultra, ultra plus, super ultra mega plus. What happened to one size fits all? I guess I could close my eyes and point, but it's risky. Choose the wrong one, and at the end of the day, you could either have a crime scene in your nether regions or get a vaginal wall rug burn from the driest cotton plug ever to exist on Earth. I wish there were fitting rooms for tampons. Like, this is how I imagine it would go. Can I get a size down? Don't even get me started on the brand names. I mean, Tampax Pearl, they're blatantly calling my vagina an oyster. They got one heck of a marketing team over there. And Tampax Radiant. During my period, I looked up some synonyms for radiant, you know, just to see where they're coming from. Brilliant, glowing, incandescent. Let me tell you, if your vagina is ever incandescent, you need medical attention. Makes me wonder if these people have ever actually seen a menstruating vagina. Don't get me wrong, I think vaginas are fantastic, but I don't think anyone except maybe Dracula has ever made eye contact with a bloody cooch and been like, absolutely incandescent. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Yeah, it's amazing. Most of these students had never tried something like this before. So we hope you enjoyed their new efforts. 10 years from now, remember, you saw them here first in the Virtual Comedy Cafe. They have had some help, I want to acknowledge, from Stephen Rosenfield of the American Comedy Institute and from my admirable assistant, Kelly Sue Martinucci.
Woo!
Woo, Kelly Sue!
We love Kelly Sue.
Love you, Kelly.
Woo!
Yes, and I also want to acknowledge the support of the Jewish Studies program and the Department of Religion at Syracuse University. Thank you all for coming out or tuning in or clicking on our link tonight. We hope to see you soon, face to face. Thank you and good night.